Good morning and welcome back to another tutorial filmed in a circus tent because I have nowhere else to film. And to a very sweaty Ellen because I just finished a workout, so don't mind the shiny hair and shiny forehead. So today's video is all about the key to fixing your banana handstand shape, which most commonly is caused by a lack of shoulder mobility, which is when your shoulders can't go much further than this, which means that your range of motion and your flexibility in your shoulders is limited. So to try and fix that limited range of motion, we're going to be working on our overhead shoulder mobility. So overhead shoulder mobility has three components. One, which is the actual shoulder itself. Two is the movement of the scapula. And three is mobility in your thoracic spine. So that is what helps you to turn side to side and what helps contribute to having bad posture when you're hunched over versus being nice and open through your shoulders, which is when you have a nice flexible and open thoracic spine. Now I'm going to be going over some thoracic spine mobility and some shoulder and some overhead shoulder mobility exercises. Now the reason why I'm going to include thoracic spine movement is because this is so important to your overhead range of motion, because if you're hunched over, this changes the angle to which your shoulders can get to. So if you already have limited overhead shoulder range, so let's say you can only get to here, versus that with good posture and bad posture means that your range of motion is even more limited. And when both of those things combined, when you're doing a handstand, you're going to compensate for that by arching your back, which is why you end up with this like banana shape gross handstand. So with that short little intro, let's get straight into these exercises. So to start off with, we're going to go over the shoulder mobility exercises first, and then we'll move on to the thoracic spine exercises. So the first one that we're doing is sitting on your bums, hands behind you, and you want to push your bum up into the air and create a tabletop position. Trying to get your bum and your shoulders up nice and high. Your shoulders, your upper body. Next, we're going to pop our hands on a box or something and on our knees. Now for this one, the first variation that we're doing, I want you to keep your back nice and rounded and not let your back arch. So really pushing those shoulders down towards the ground. I want to feel a nice stretch in here as well. I feel like I have to constantly remind myself to keep my back rounded. So don't be afraid to reset every now and then. Next, we've got the downward dog version of that one. So keeping that back nice and rounded and not arching it, and pushing those shoulders down towards the ground. Alright, next you're going to need a stick or a pole or something similar. For this one, you're going to lie down on the ground, and we're actually going to mimic our handstand shape lying on the ground. So you want to point your toes, squeeze your legs together, and when you squeeze them, your feet should come off the ground. You then want to tuck your pelvis under. Squeeze that tummy in, which means it should come off the ground. Push those hips into the ground. And from there, you want to lift the pole up as far as you can go while keeping your shoulders curled in towards you and not flaring out. Man, those ones are hard. It's like so sweaty in here already. This next one that we're gonna do, you can either use a pole or a TheraBand, depending on what level you're at, but we're gonna be doing dislocates. So you don't wanna have your hands too close together when you first try it, just to gauge where your arms sit when you do this. And you also wanna really make sure that you're moving your shoulders in sync, so not popping one shoulder out first. And when you're doing this one, you also want to make sure that you've got nice posture. So you're tucking that chin back and you're tucking your pelvis under. So you can do it sitting down like this, or you can do it standing and then also engaging that core. Once you've worked out how far out your arms can go, you can then bring them in a little bit. So the next one that we're going to do is a tricep stretch. Now we're going to do a slightly more advanced version of this one, where you grab the top hand with the other one. So bringing the first arm up and over, you then want to bring the other hand up, grabbing your fingers, and once again, nice posture. And you want to think about pulling that top hand and arm down with the other one. So this stretch is really good because it helps to work that internal rotation of your shoulders, which is really important when you're doing a handstand, because it helps you to remember which way you're thinking about rotating those arms. This also helps to mobilize your arm when it's above your head as well, which is so important in that handstand position. So if you struggle to get your hands together in this one, there is an alternative you can do. So holding a TheraBand or a towel or something, you're going to bring that arm over, and then you're just going to pull down on that towel to create that same stretch. Okay, so moving on to our thoracic spine movement exercises, which you know why they're so important. We're just going to start off nice and slow and easy with down in this position on the ground. And we're going to do sad cat and happy cat. So just starting to mobilize and move that back. So just starting to get some movement in that back. Really trying to open up and then really curling over. So next we're going to do a thread the needle. So you're going to bring one hand underneath here, and you're going to think about pushing this arm into the ground for the first part of the stretch. And then for the second part of the stretch, to bring in a bit more sideways thoracic movement, you're going to bring that top arm over the top and reaching it behind. Once again, still pushing with that arm into the ground. And then of course you can do the same thing on the other side. I'll show you this time from the side. Another good thoracic exercise for working the more side motion is doing these big half circles lying on your side. So lying on your side, the knees and shoulders stacked on top of each other. You want to bring the top arm forward and out over the hand, and then drawing a big semicircle, trying to really push that arm and reach as far away as possible. Over the top and round to the side. We're going to do 3 of these. So you can take your time with these and do them at your own pace, depending on if you feel like you get stuck anywhere, if you get sore. So you can kind of just stay in those spots that feel a little more stiff than the others. And then we'll do the other side. So reaching forward, up, and reaching that hand out as far as it can go. Alright, so the last one that we're going to be doing is a really good one for opening up that thoracic spine if you're really hunched over in your back. So, bum on the ground, back on a foam roller, tucking that pelvis under, core engaged, and the more advanced version of this is doing arms straight above yourself, or you can do them with your hands tucked behind your head. You also want to make sure that your chin is tucked into your chest. And you're going to slowly lean back and back up. You can also do this on different parts of your back. So you can move slightly down or you can move slightly up. Despite my face, I really do like this exercise because I think it's just so good for resetting after you've been doing a lot of sitting down, or if you find that your posture and your back is starting to hunch over. Alright, that was a whole bunch of really great overhead shoulder mobility and thoracic mobility exercises. I hope you guys have found them helpful. I hope you followed along for a couple of them, or like wrote some of the exercises down to like reference later for your handstand warm-up training. If you did like this video, please give it a like because it really supports my channel, and hit that subscribe button if you want to see more. And smash that little notification bell if you want to be notified anytime I upload a new video, which is usually once a week on Sundays. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!